Hey there, Angular folks, and welcome back. I've got a question for you. What happens if your user clicks submit while your async validator is still checking the server? Do you submit bad data? Do you block the user? Do you silently fail? Well, Signal Forms now gives us explicit control over that behavior. And in this video, we're going to walk through the different modes. Let's jump in. All right, here you can see we've got a simple sign up form with a username field. If I type something short, we get a min-length validation error. Good. When we type in something longer, we see this checking availability message appear. This is actually coming from an async validator attached to this field that determines if the username is already taken. Now, if I click the submit button while this async validator is running, watch the console. We get a log with our form value on it. We'll see this in a minute, but this log fires when the form is submitted, so the submit action runs right away. It does not wait for the async validator to complete. But once that async check finishes, we get a validation error letting us know that this name is already taken. So this is the key behavior to understand. The async validator can be pending, you can still submit, and validation can still finish afterward and mark the field invalid. This is the behavior that we will be modifying in this tutorial. But first, let's add a valid username. We see the async validation run again, but this time there's no error. And when we submit, we get another log. Now let's look at the code and make that behavior configurable. Let's look at the template for this component first. Here, we're using the form root directive on the form element. This connects the native form to the Signal form model. Then we have the text input for the username field. It uses the form field directive to bind the input to the field inside the form. Right below that input, we have the message that shows when the username is pending, which is what happens while the async validator is running. Under this, we loop through the errors associated with this field, if there are any, and display them once the field has been touched. Then at the bottom, we have the submit button. When the form is submitting, the button gets disabled and the label changes to creating. Okay, that's how the template works. Now let's look at the TypeScript. All right, here we have the model signal for our form. The username field is initialized with an empty string. Below this is where we configure the behavior for our form. We pass in the model signal. Then we have the configuration function. Here we can see that the field is required and must be at least 3 characters long. Then we have the async validator. We have params, which determines when the validator runs. We have factory, where we simulate a backend call using resource. Then we have onSuccess, which maps the Boolean result into an error object if needed. Below all this validation is where we handle form submission with this submission object. We have this actionAsync function that runs when submission is allowed. This is where that console log was coming from. This action will only run if the form allows it to. This simulates an API call. So currently, errors can show up after submission already happened. Now pause for a second and think about that. Is that what you want in a real application? Sometimes, yes. If you want your app to feel responsive and you're okay validating after submission, that's perfectly fine. But other times you might want something stricter, and right now, we have no control over that behavior. Submission just happens. And this is exactly why Angular introduced the new ignoreValidators option. It determines how validator state affects whether submission is allowed. Inside the submission configuration of a Signal form, Angular now gives us control over how validator states affect submission. There are essentially 3 different values that we can use here: pending, none, and all. Let's start with pending. Okay, let's save and see how this changes things. Okay, now let's add a name we know already exists again. Now I'll click while the async validator is running and, well, we can still submit. This is exactly the same behavior we had before. That's because pending is the default behavior. So adding it doesn't change anything, it just makes the behavior explicit in your code base instead of implicit. So let's switch back over and change it to something different. Let's switch from pending to none. This means do not ignore any validator state. If a validator is pending, wait. If it's invalid, block. Okay, let's save and try it out. Let's add the name that's already taken again. Now, when we click submit, nothing happens. The submission does not run while we have pending validation. And what about when the async validator finishes? Nope, still can't submit. What about once we make it valid? Yep, now it works. So none gives us strict production-safe behavior. Submission waits until validation completes. Now, what would make this better is that when the form is invalid, it would be cool if, when clicking submit, it would automatically focus the first invalid field. Well, good news, we can add this pretty easily. Let's add the onInvalid property here. Whatever we add here will run when the form submission fails because the form is invalid. First, we'll add a const to access the root form state, then use the error summary to get a flat list of fields with errors. Then we'll use this const to access the field tree of this first invalid control so that we can call focus bound control to move focus to it. Okay, now let's save and try this out. I'll add Brian again, and once the async validator completes, when we click submit, now it focuses the username field automatically. That's a much better user experience, and this is where onInvalid becomes extremely useful. All right, now let's do something a little dangerous. Let's switch from none to all. All right, now let's save and try this. Okay, right now the form is invalid because our username is required, but we haven't provided a value. But what happens if we just submit? Well, now it submits immediately. Yikes. Now let's add Brian again. And when we submit while the async validator is running, well, it submits. Async validation still runs, the error still appears, but submission already happened. This mode ignores everything, even invalid and pending states. You would probably use this for something like saving drafts, autosaving, or partial data persistence, but not for a form like this. So you should use pending when you want a fast user experience and don't want to block submission on async checks. You should use none when you need strict production-safe validation. And you should use all when you want to submit, regardless of validation state. ignoreValidators gives you precise control over what happens if the user submits while validation is still running. If you're building real-world Angular applications with signal forms, this is one of those options you should understand deeply. All right, if you want to stay current with modern Angular features like this, subscribe. I release new Angular tutorials every week. And hey, if you want to help support the channel, check out the ShieldWorks gear linked below. It's built for Angular developers like you who take great pride in their work. All right, that's all for today. I'll see you in the next one.